Some of the best life advice is surrounding the idea of not only being yourself, but being your best self, and most importantly, being your authentic self. Yet, for the INFJ personality type, that can be much easier said than done. As much as they strive for this reality, they can often experience ridicule and even humiliation when they let their social guard down. Welcome, or welcome back, Psycho! Before we start, have you liked and subscribed to our channel? Go ahead! And be sure to click the notification bell while you're there so that you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with number 1. Their priorities are difficult to relate to. When discussing the INFJ personality type, words like uniqueness and rarity just don't get to the core of who they really are. Maybe this is because the INFJ doesn't really want people to know who they are in the first place. Or maybe it's because they are not exactly keen on sharing their deeper life priorities due to subconscious fear of ridicule. INFJ Natalia from psychologyjunkie.com describes this when referring to her adolescent years by saying, "I eventually stopped sharing what was on my mind and heart because it usually meant being ignored or ridiculed." The INFJ's future ideas and current priorities are riddled with their most precious kept morals and values. With independence, social nonconformity, empathy, and deep need for energy balancing being some of their top few, the INFJ knows that their ideas on life are quite easily targeted by more traditional thinkers. Usually called out for having their head in the clouds or for their fairy tale-like romantic expectations, if INFJs really opened up about their hopes and dreams that come from their set priorities, they probably wouldn't be taken seriously. Number 2, they're teased for their sensitive nature. Harmless critiquing and teasing is only as harmless as the truth it's rooted in, and the INFJ knows this to be true from years of experience. Usually, being the stimuli-sensitive one of every social scenario, this personality type is used to being mocked for their short social battery life and their overall reluctance with doing anything outside the solitude of their homes for too long of time. As much as INFJs try their best to never expose their discomfort and preference for being elsewhere, sometimes it gets to the point that it's worth it for them to take the ridicule in order to free up their time and energy. In fact, being called a middle-aged granny for leaving the party early or a woo-woo wannabe psychic for communicating that they feel distracted by the negative energy in the room are all compliments to the INFJ who understands the reasoning behind these unique tendencies. Number 3, misunderstood politeness and empathy. To some people, INFJs can seem rather suspiciously nice. Yet, to these perceivers, nice isn't exactly their first choice of wording. In fact, in certain settings, this aspect of the INFJ's authentic personality can come off as quite threatening or even annoying. Using the corporate world as an example, not only is this politeness often overlooked or mistaken for weakness, but it can cause people to perceive the INFJ as a brown-noser using fake sincerity. These types of people just can't fathom the fact that there are others who genuinely care without expecting anything in return. In a relationship setting, this is no different. For this personality type, genuine concern for other people's well-being can certainly come across as being flirtatious, overly friendly, or just a little too passionate in the eyes of some people. And there's no doubt that can make some partners seem slightly uncomfortable, resulting in undeserved ridicule. Number 4, they're unafraid to make others uncomfortable. When it comes to being their true selves, the normally conflict-avoiding INFJ bears a different kind of confidence. When they know their decision doesn't really affect anyone else, the INFJ's rebellious nature can slowly emerge. This is especially true if it brings them closer to feeling more like themselves. Whether it's a dramatic new hairstyle, the decision to go bra-free, picking up a rather taboo hobby, or something as simple as hanging out with the so-called outcasts of society. INFJs know the ridicule they may face, but that doesn't stop them from communicating the subtle parts of who they are to other people. Plus, with such a grand grasp on just how different everyone thinks and perceives, this introspective type knows that for every person who mocks their uniqueness, there is a passerby who appreciates their confidence. Number 5. They must uncage the elephant in the room. Speaking of being conflict avoidant, yet also not being afraid to make others feel slightly uncomfortable, INFJs don't always hesitate to point out the obvious. Not only do they use their rare allowance of stirring the pot in order to express themselves freely, but also to put certain things in line. Whether it has to do with secretive family members, injustices at the workplace, or really any type of bullying or manipulation, if INFJs have information that will help fight for good, they certainly won't hesitate sharing it with the right people. This is true even when they know ridicule, disbelief, and mockery for their views could be inevitable. Using INFJ Martin Luther King Jr. as an example, by not only stating the obvious facts and injustices that society had become blinded to, but also lead a peaceful protest in the name of making the necessary changes, he was able to make incredible changes that society is still reaping the rewards from today. However, it's not to say that his movement didn't come with serious ridicule and repercussions. Number 6. They can be called out for their paradoxes. To anyone that knows the INFJ personality type, paradoxes and contradictions are nothing new. With complex thinking that leads to rather broad conclusions, this introspective type is known for seeing all sides to every scenario. And with that, they can sometimes come up with beliefs and ideas that counter other beliefs and ideas they have. Yet, in their minds, these perceived contradictions are not contradictions at all. This, however, doesn't change the perceptions of those around them, and that can call for some serious ridicule. Whether they're called out for hypocrisy or perceived as an imposter of some sort, it's not rare for the INFJ to be, quote-unquote, caught by others who think the INFJ is going against their previous beliefs. However, in these times, the INFJ doesn't fret. They only dread the fact that they have to then explain their complex explanation in a position of defense rather than genuine interest. Ironically, when someone thinks they've caught the INFJ or teases them about a specific paradox without giving them the time to explain themselves, it's even worse. Number 7. Their need for deep meaning. Like water and oxygen, INFJs wouldn't be able to live without a deeper meaning to life and everything in it. Everything they do, say, think, see, or feel must mean something. And if they can't find the meaning, they won't be around for long. Sure, most people crave meaningful relationships and usually try to make meaningful memories. But for the INFJ, this is a concept that must be applied to every single area of their lives in order for them to be truly at peace. And while this comes as second nature to this intuitive type, some people may find it a little excessive. Some people don't understand why an INFJ would leave a well-paying job because of the lack of deeper significance, or why they may cut off a decent connection because of the lack of genuinity and depth behind it. A constant need for meaning can seem unrealistic, unattainable, and even immature. And because of that, even when someone tries to talk some sense into them out of love, the INFJ can end up feeling mocked and misunderstood. Number 8. Their difficulty to say no. With the combination of misunderstood politeness and deep empathy towards others, INFJs can have difficulty placing boundaries around the obligations they take on for others. They have difficulty saying no when they should, and because of that, they can easily get taken advantage of. Yet, how does this overstepped, invisible boundary cause the INFJ to feel ridiculed? Well, when things begin getting offloaded to the INFJ because of their easygoing nature within the workplace, or they are becoming depended on by a close friend, the sheer inconsideration can feel seriously humiliating. Oh, just give it to INFJ. They're the only ones that can have it done by morning. Or, I know you're so busy, INFJ, but are you open for kid sitting this weekend? Of course, INFJs are always willing to lend a helping hand, But when someone leaves little room for an honest reply, or they fail to acknowledge how much effort some adopted responsibilities require, this authentic trait can end up feeling more like a curse. Well, that's it for today, psychos. So, how do you remain authentic as an INFJ despite the discussed challenges? Tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more psycho videos.